Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for joining. Welcome to our Sage 200 webinar, Unlocking Sage 200 Reporting with Reveal. Just some introductions first. My name is Rico Albertelli, Customer Success Manager at itas, and I've got with me here today Mark Donaldson. He's the Managing Director from Reveal. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Good morning, and thank you for having me here.
Good. Just going to be kick off with some housekeeping, if you don't mind. Just to remind everybody that the webinar is live and it will be recorded. The recording will be available for you to revisit, so feel free to pass this on to anyone who's unable to join, or if you just want to revisit the content yourself to take another look. Today will be up to an hour, and then we will just have a bit of time for some questions. I would just ask if everybody could keep their cameras off and mute their microphones, please. But feel free to drop any questions into the chat and Q&A, and we will try to answer them for you. And a reminder for anyone watching a recorded version, you can feel free to email over any questions to myself and we will get the answers back to you. So I'll hand over to Mark now, who's just going to run through the agenda and the demonstration with you.
Thank you very much. Okay. So I will share my screen there. Fantastic. So thank you very much for the introduction. So today's agenda, I'll go through a bit of background, why Reveal, what got us here, what we're known for, and what we provide. So moving into what is Reveal, I'll then give a demo. It won't be an exhaustive demo through everything, because otherwise we'd be here for till the end of the day. But I'll give you the highlights and run through there, and then Q&A. And as Rico has said, if you can drop any questions in the chat as we go, that would be great, and I'll pick those up. I'll pick those up at the end with Rico. And obviously, if there's any questions afterwards, or you're watching on the live recording, please do ask Rico, and he'll liaise with you to get those answered. So without further ado, I'll crack on. So in terms of our mission is really to empower SMEs with clear, intelligent information that really helps businesses grow. So I'm talking small, medium-sized companies using Sage 200. You're sitting on a wealth of information, a wealth of data, be that sales analytics or sales information, profitability, costings, stock, all sorts of stuff, right down to kind of individual performance measurements that are valuable to you and your business that might be a bit unique in your sector. So a lot of that information is stored inside Sage 200, and for want of a better phrase, we kind of liberate that and take that information out and make the individuals empowered to be able to use it. So our mission here is really providing clear, intelligent information to drive growth and efficiency across your businesses. So in terms of background, before I get into what is Reveal, I'm an accountant by background. I trained at a local firm. We're based in Norwich. I trained at a local firm, Larkin Gowan, too many years ago now, but I then went to work for Grant Thornton, obviously a large top 5 practice as it was at the time, and I think across that whole period, it was very clear that businesses were sitting on all this information and struggling to, analyze and understand this information, and technology could be used. So I went out as a freelance finance director, worked for a number of years for businesses, both established and startups, and that continued. There's a huge amount of information that's sitting on. So being able to understand what happened yesterday in sales, or being able to understand stock analytics, to be able to make a decision right now, rather than have to wait to 2-3 weeks after the end of the month end to make a decision on some information that's probably 6 weeks old, is critical and crucial to driving growth. So 12-13 years ago, wrote a business plan, recruited a team of software developers here in Norwich. So we're all based locally, and built a platform initially for Sage 50. because that was my bread and butter. In terms of a lot of the businesses I'd been working with were Sage 50, and some Sage 200 as well. So we came to Sage 200 market 18 months ago, and haven't looked back. It's the same problem for often larger businesses. So Roveel is aimed at solving that problem. For us, it's about being quick and getting access to that information quickly. So not needing a long setup process, not needing training, not needing a 12, 14, 15 week kind of onboarding program. You can plug your data in to Roveel and get results often within the hour. So that's crucial. Now, that's an easier task when you're dealing with something like Sage 50 or some of the smaller sort of the other cloud-based software that doesn't have as much data, but we wanted to carry that into Sage 200, and we've achieved that. So the majority of Sage 200 sites get up and running very quickly, within an hour or two of signing up. So that's critical. So Roveel provides that in-depth drill down analytics from Sage 200, and that's very important. So being able to get into the underlying transaction, you may not be a Sage 200 user. You may not, you might be a salesperson out on the road who needs access to that information to perform their job to the best that they can, and their peak capability. Actually, as a finance director, finance manager, financial controller, you probably don't want them having access to that information, or remote access straight in. So our read-only platform provides them with tailored access so that they can access the things that are important to them. It's the same if you've got a factory manager. You can give them access to the bits that they need. They don't need to access all of the, they're not going to be accessing the P&L and the balance sheet. They need to be accessing the information that they need to make their job and make better decisions. So with that in mind, we're covering things like income, sales, overheads, profitability, cash flow. We're not a cash flow forecasting tool, but we certainly can do the cash flow reporting to understand, and we can pull in cash flow forecasts into Roveel via an Excel or a CSV import. So I've got on there tracking cash flow, reporting non-financial tracking of KPIs. So you can use Sage 200 to track those KPIs, or you can import those KPIs into Roveel. Departments and cost center analysis, I'll show you those in the demo. Being able to very quickly look at different branches, look at different stores, regions, however you want to slice and dice your business. We've built the screens to enable you to do that, and obviously setting targets, KPIs within Roveel, which I covered. So in terms of understanding and monitoring those, I don't really think it's just KPIs. The product goes way beyond that, and the crucial thing is that it's about getting the right information to the right people. So let me move on. So in terms of drill down reporting, I talked about making it easy to set up. Installation by your partner takes less than 10 minutes. It really does. There's no cost attached to that. We offer a 14-day free trial with your own data, which is crucial. I can show you Stationery Mart, which I will do today. But it's a stationary mark company. Unless you're a stationary company, it's probably not relevant. It always means so much more with your data. So you will see the product as it is on a 2-week free trial, and get access to everything. It's not Power BI. So Roveel, we built it from scratch. You do not need a Power BI license, and whilst it looks and behaves, there's some similarities. It's dashboards, analytics, and reporting. Just wanted to point out, up front that it's not Power BI. Support, we have full support here, based out of our office in Norwich. We've got ticket, telephone, and live chat available, so you can always get hold of somebody if there was any issues. we'll resolve anything that comes up. So why use Roveel with Sage 200? And the same goes for other Sages as well, Sage 50 in particular. The existing reports are often restricted, and they can be old in appearance. And if you've used the Sage Report Designer, which I think I cut my teeth on many years ago, that hasn't changed, and it's difficult to do. You have to have that sort of technical knowledge to be able to understand and better understand how to do those reports. So with Roveel, there's no technical knowledge required. It's plug and play. Literally, we connect. You register on the website. There's some forward setup details to the partner. They install a connector, points at the Sage data, and then it's cloud-based, so you get to see the information you need in your browser, which means that it works on your mobile, tablet, wherever you are. So you could be on a beach, you could be in the Bahamas, and still access your business if you really wanted to. Crucially, no more reporting, no more exporting to Excel. Now, realistically, we all use Excel. You know, I've put on there no more exporting to Excel. Excel's really good for ad hoc things that you might just need to do something with, but routine, regular reporting out of Excel is fraught with issues, and I won't go through all of those. But in terms of formula changes and that sort of stuff, and things, new codes coming in, all that sort of stuff, that's all handled by Roveel. You put a new nominal code in today, on the synchronization overnight tonight, it'll pick it up, it'll do it, it'll map it, it'll bring it through. So or flag to you that you need to map it. So I think it removes that risk of data being inaccurate, and we've all been there, I would imagine, where I don't know, the finance team present a set of numbers, the sales director has a different set of numbers because they've been cut slightly differently. Actually, as a business owner and running that business, you want one single view of the truth, and that one single view of the truth that comes from Roveel, and that data accuracy is there. I should point out that we are approved by Sage as well, so we're a Sage Tech partner and have been for probably a decade. Yeah, that's there in terms of credibility, and our Trustpilot ratings are about 4.6, 4.7, something like that. So very positive. You can check those out online. So drill down reporting, I've covered that, and it's ultimately about making informed decisions more quickly. So in terms of the sectors, we are sector agnostic. You know, we say Sage 200 often has, you know, manufacturing, construction, distribution, wholesale. However, there's also not-for-profit, charity, retail, healthcare and medical businesses. Obviously, that's potentially, you know, healthcare wholesalers, that sort of stuff. But we are truly agnostic in terms of sectors. So our product will connect to Sage 200 and provide you with the information you need. And if it doesn't, we have a bespoke service available to tailor and build that. So and I'll show you some bits when I get into the live demo shortly. But the actual base pack, as we call it internally, provides you with a wealth of dashboards, and I'll show you those. Often customers will then come to us and say, could it do X, Y, and Z? Now we run with the tagline, any report you want, because we can create any report you want. That also includes pulling in sources, other data sources. So it might be that you have a CSV with some information on, or it might be that you have a SQL database, or another database that you want to pull in. So actually providing Roveel at the center there, as that single source of truth, pulling in different data sources. So don't you thinking it's just Sage 200? We can pull in others there. So we have a bespoke service here. Again, there's no obligation to it, and customers generally fall into two camps. They'll either, or probably three, they'll either come on, the base pack does exactly what they need, and off they go. So you're on the monthly subscription. Some come along and say, actually, could it do X, Y, and Z? And we might do X and Y to start with, and then do Z at a later in time, or in 6-9 months time, customers will say, oh, we really like it, could we add and do something else? So what we will do on any bespoke work is give you absolute clarity on price. So we do fixed prices. I've been there, bought the t-shirt. You do not, in terms of, I think that those days are past us now, where prices change and movement, and you don't quite know. I've been on the receiving end, so I try to run the business with that experience, and transparency is one of our core values. So making sure that the customer knows exactly what things are going to cost. I've got some examples here of some of the reports that we provide. So sales analytics, I'll cover the sales stuff when I get into the demo. The financials as well. We've got suppliers, credit control. There's some cash reporting in there as well. I've talked about KPIs, importing and tracking budgets, analyzing profitability and understanding your products and services. Sage 200 can be set up in all sorts of different ways. There's also additional modules like Sycon and Sim. I'll come on to those in a moment. But actually, it's about finding the data that's most valuable to you to make those decisions, right? So we've worked hard on that to make sure that the platform delivers value to you out of the box. And one of those key areas is understanding profitability, and looking at profit by product, profit by customer, and service as well. So understanding income streams. By that, looking at sales, looking at gaps, looking at opportunities. So if you're a sales wholesaler, and you've got a team out you're delivering, selling goods, you want to know which customers, the routine regular customers. You want to understand today which customers, in the middle of the month, you want to understand which customers are behind, which customers are ahead, but crucially, which customers haven't bought as well. So if they've got a zero in the sales this month, but they sold 10 grand, you sold 10 grand worth of goods to them last month, the month before, the month before, the month before that, you can understand which goods you sold to them. But you can also about it straight away, so they don't lose. I remember talking to a business a while ago, and they said they were adding in 1 million of new sales every year, but they were losing 1 million out the bottom end by not understanding that those customers were clearly going somewhere else. And I think it's filling those gaps, because we're all naturally hungry for new business, but actually it's about maintaining existing customers as well. And I think that's really important. So understanding income streams and tracking supplier spend, obviously suppliers is the opposite, and understanding, making sure that suppliers are delivering value to you. Fully bespoke, affordable reporting tool. We charge a monthly fee. So for 5 users, it's $4.50 a month. And then tailors depending on the number of users thereafter, and number of companies and that kind of thing. But there's no onboarding cost or cost associated with that. We publish our prices, they're on the website, so you can calculate and work out exactly how much it's going to cost. And ultimately, I've said it before, it's about providing the right information to the right people, so they can get on and do their jobs with informed decisions quickly. So I talked briefly about other integrations. We integrate with Sycon. So Sycon provide a whole suite of tools that bolt onto Sage 200. So be that manufacturing, barcoding, and warehousing, the kitting module, construction projects, that kind of thing. So we're currently going through a process of building those modules out. Cycon Projects is live today and available, and we're working on the manufacturing, barcoding, warehousing, and construction as well. So they'll be available as a pack that you can just bolt on to your existing Roveel account. SIM provide manufacturing software, so SIM 200. So if any of you are using those, we've got a team working on that integration at the moment, and that will be available. That'll be available shortly. And Join provide consolidation software. So if you've in a group and you've got Sage 200, a Xero, a Sage 50, a QuickBooks, they integrate in a free agent now. They integrate with all of those. Well, they don't integrate with Sage 50 or Sage 200, so they use us, our connector, essentially to do that. So if you've got a group that's Sage 200 and a Xero or Sage 50 or something, we've partnered with Join to provide a consolidation tool there. I will say we do aggregation directly. By that, obviously a clear distinction between consolidation and aggregation without getting to accountancy in the webinar. Aggregation, we will look at all of your sales, for example, across the whole group. So if you've got Sage 200s, you've got 2 or 3 companies there, you might have a Sage 51 as well. We will pull all of that together and provide you with an aggregated view across the group so that you could see a particular customer. So if you were selling to Anglian Water, for example, through 3 of those 4 companies, but you didn't know how much they were spending with you, we would aggregate all of that together so you could then start to see across the whole group. We also integrate with other systems. I talked briefly about SQL Server. We've got ODBC on there, MariaDB, MySQL, Azure. So we can pull those data sources in and bring other information through. We are official reporting partner to Gloucester Rugby Club. It's a long way from Norwich, but they're a Sage 200 site, and we struck up a deal with them last year. So we're official reporting partner to Gloucester Rugby. We've got a big advertising board on their behind one of their in one of their stands, and work with them to kind of better understand some of the numbers there. So talking about different Sage 200 sites, that's a very different one again, obviously in the sort of leisure space, but they're not manufacturing, it's not distribution, it's very much kind of service based and very different, but very exciting. I'll now come on to a demo. Just bear with me. Obviously, if there's any questions that you do have, pop them in the live chat, and I'll pick those up after the demo. So so I'm logged in here to Roveel. So you can see the menu down the left hand side. So these are pre-built. This is what you get out of the box. You can customize and bespoke these menus. You can give different people access to different parts of the business as well. So within the sales section, for example, we've got all the individual sales reports. I'll look into to a few of those in a moment. Over on the right hand side, we have a date selector tool, and I'll be using that in a moment on the sales side. On the home page, it is locked to financial year to date. It's the only report that's locked on. This is a snapshot as of now, so it shows you exactly where you are. So you get in the morning, right? Where are we? What's going on? What's our cash? What's the debtors? What's the creditors? And gives you a very sort of high level view of what's going on. every report you can hover over. It'll give you the information. So if I look in October 25, which I think is when my data is run to here, that will show me the open value of the sales orders against what the posted sales invoices. So we've got 289 of sales invoices, 376 of open sales orders against the comparative sales invoices. Obviously, there's no comparative open sales orders because they've been closed and converted into invoices. Further down, we've got the balance over time. So sales GP EBITDA. Again, this is automatic. So in terms of setup, I'll come on. There's a chart of account configurator, but other than that, that's the only setup that's needed to get the information that you need and for these. If I I'll show you, there's a few features on the on every single little widget here. There's the three dots, which allows you to full screen. You can then use these graphing tools here to get the graph looking as you would like. Three dots again. You can export that as an image. So if you're doing a management report and you want to just get some high level numbers into, or some graphs in, you can export out a nice looking graph there. You can also show us a table of numbers. So we'll pull out all of the raw information, and you can export that out into Excel or as a CSV if you wanted to. So I'm going to show graph, and then I'm just going to exit the full screen and take me back to there. So that menu is available on every single widget, be it a preloaded table or a graph. So you can always convert it back into a table if you want to. So on here, this shows top 10 debtors. It then shows top 10 creditors, and if my data was slightly more live, it would then show me the profile of those debtors and creditors, all mine are 90-day plus, because I think the last transaction looks like it was October 25. So obviously, if I was back in October, it would have had more of an aging date range there. Okay, so I'm going to jump straight into sales. Because I've talked a fair bit about sales. I'm going to go into sales overview. Just going to reset, so it remembers my filters from my previous demo. So I'm just going to refresh those. Okay, so up here we've got the date selector. So last 12 months. So if I wanted to do the last financial year, set to December 24. The financial year is set for hasn't been rolled forward as a year end in our demo data. So I'm going to go back to the last financial year, which ended in December 24. That's not probably a good example. Let me just select a more relevant range. There we go. Right, so I'm now looking at January to August. To do that, I just drag it over rather than use the date selector. Has the same effect, and that's now comparing against the same point last year. So January 25 against January 24. That immediately shows the variance. The blue dot being the prior year, the pink bar being the current period that we're looking at. We do automatically pick up the periods that come through from within Sage. So if you're running a 544 period or something in Sage, we'll pull that through automatically. So it doesn't revert to calendar month when you get into the financials. So what this does is breaks down those sales by your cost center. So I've got various different stores in this instance. So we've got Manchester, London and Birmingham, some Scottish retail, some blank, which obviously would need fixing in the data. Again, that helps the user identify any errors in the data, and then factory warehouse as well. So we've then got the departments. So within the relevant departments, and then it further breaks that down by customer, by product group, and by SKU as well, and head office. So you can get down into the individual SKU level to see the information. What I'm actually going to do is just filter onto Manchester, because I just want to look at Manchester. So I want to see how Manchester's performing. Manchester are 3.9% up. It's all coming through value-added goods. There's no other department that is selling. We can see the customers. It will automatically pull out those customers that have increased and those customers that have decreased. So we can see Mancunian DIY has decreased, A56 plumbing has decreased, and I'll come back to that in a moment. And then it then breaks that down by individual product group, so we can see which product groups have increased and which have decreased, and then down to SKU that has decreased. We've only got one office there. I didn't scroll far enough earlier, but it does break it down by, you even get down to invoice reference, and by warehouse as well. So I'm just going to go back to the Mancunian DIY. I'm going to click on that. A live demo. I've not clicked this before. I've not seen, not drilled into this. I like to keep it fresh and run through. So Mancunian DIY. We're now looking at them. We can see they're 49.2% down. Yikes! You know, they're buying stuff from elsewhere, or struggling. Let's have a look. So they have increased in some areas by small amounts. You know, £600. So they're kind of flat. But they've the whiteware's gone down by 47 grand, linoleum 42, and range style 42 grand as well. So that big variance, 164,000 down, is largely due to those three areas. Let's take a look at those three. Let's go and look at those three together. So I've now selected those three. It will then go off and show me, yeah, those three, 66% down on previous. So that updates all the graphs on this screen, and shows us that trend, which is pretty poor. And then it shows us the individual SKU that's down the most. Obviously, I could show the table. I could export that as an image. I could full screen that. But if I wanted just to drill into that one product and go, okay, linoleum's down. Let's have a look on that particular product, that particular SKU. What's going on? They haven't bought it. So there's a conversation there for the sales teams to go, okay, you normally purchased, last February you purchased 33 grand from us. What's going on there? So what I'm trying to demonstrate here is the amount of depth and granularity that you can get into. Now, if I just reset those filters, the last thing I'll show you on this sales dashboard is the various different analysis fields. So within here, within Sage, you've got 20 different analysis fields. We pull through the first 6. We can add more if you need to, and this allows you to in Sage, you've got the analysis fields allow you to go onto the customer record, the supplier record, the product record, to be able to kind of slice and dice. So if I wanted to look here, I've got individual salesperson. So if I just wanted to look at gyms, I could look at gyms. If I apply on there, that will then provide you a breakdown of how he's performed over that period. He's 1% up on the previous period. Likewise, I could then filter that down by individual other analysis fields. So I could group people up together, or I just want to look at the fittings, or I just want to look at a particular region. I just want to look. I've no idea if he sells into Europe. Probably be blank. Yeah, typical. But if he'd sold into Europe, it would then show. So that's valuable information still to know that that's blank. I talked about gaps. And understanding gaps in what's being sold. I'll now just have a look at the monthly customer sales. Go to here. This shows you, and I won't spend long on this. This shows you all of your individual customers and what they've been spending. So here, for example, Cherry Limited, you can see they've purchased every single month. But June 24, which is the period that I've got it selected to, is blank. So you might say, I'll tell you what, let's go and have a look at what they did in May. I can click on that number, right click, show transactions, and it will bring back the underlying information that's posted inside Sage. So if your team are out on the road, and they're phoning up and asking for information all the time. With this, you don't need to. They can access the information that they need, and immediately you can see quantities. You can see what cost center it went to, what department. Even tracks back to the original URN if you needed to. Right. Within the sales, we've got things like product profitability, and I'll just flash through a few of these without going into huge amounts of depth. So this allows you to see the sales and gross profit by product, the GP percentage by product group, and then by individual customer. And we explain where that information comes from in terms of how we've created that and where the data has come from. Again, you've still got all of your analysis fields there. So you've got your various different product analysis fields. If you just want to look at one customer, one product, one particular product group, you can do, and break that down. So in this example, I've already filtered for Jim. I was looking at his previously, so we can see this is just his customers. So if you want to have a conversation with Jim as a sales manager around profitability, you can. Running through some of the sales side, I'll just show the customer analysis, and then I'll move on to the financial section for part of this demo as well. So within the customer analysis, I've said we pull through the top 6. Here you can see the individual. I've already filtered for a manager here, Phil. We can see what's going on in terms of his customers, but you can then see the other analysis fields. So we've got Phil. We can then see the split of his region, done by analysis field. So we can see he's obviously focused on the Scotland area, Midlands, Northwest, and poor chap, he's then got to go from Scotland down to the southeast, assuming it's a field sales job. But yeah, if you said, well, I'm not sure who that is, what's he selling in the southeast? Let's go and have a look. You can click on that, and it breaks it down by customer. So Total Home Care London is the customer, and it breaks it down by product group and product. So you can very quickly get the answers to the sales questions that you need. Right. Let me move on to the financials. So within the financials, we've got various different reports, a balance sheet, cash flow. There's a finance report, a PDF output. I'll show you that. P&L, so a last 5-year P&L by period, a rolling last 12-month period P&L. We've also got rolling last 12 month in the sales side of things as well. Trial balance, and then some visuals. So I'm just going to go straight into the normal P&L, if I call it that. What this allows us to see is the individual, all the individual headings and sections, and I'll show you where they come from in a moment, because there's no chart of accounts as such inside 200, so there's a small mapping exercise needed. We've got headings: turnover, sales, and other revenue. They're set up in our chart of account configurator, and you map the nominals to the various headings that you want to see. Every number you can right click, show transactions, and drill into. Same as I showed earlier, and then we've got the various different filters as well. So if you wanted a cost center P&L, so if I just wanted to look at Manchester over that period, hit apply. It's that quick. There it is. Manchester obviously didn't exist in the previous period, or the branch didn't exist. I think Manchester's been there for a fair few years, but there was obviously no sales, so it's a new branch opened during that period. If I wanted to then look at when that opened during that period, I'd probably go to the monthly P&L and take a look. Let's do that actually. So P&L by period. If I filter down by cost center Manchester, apply, and then I would want to do prior year period 12. I should have noted when the period was. Obviously prior to that, obviously prior, it must have been 2023 that it wasn't there. If I scroll right, yeah, there was nothing in the previous financial year. So if we've done a comparison, so actually it started on the 1st of January. But all of this information, you can right click, drill into and understand, and get back to the underlying transactions behind what's included in there. So if you've got a branch manager, so if you've got a retail unit, we've got somebody with 18 different retail units, actually being able to give the branch manager the information they need just for their P&L is crucial. You can then obviously filter down by departments as well, and you can group up multiples. So if I wanted to look at Manchester and London, you can select those together. Briefly said I'd look at the finance report. So this shows you it's a PDF output. It pulls through the P&L for whatever period you've got selected, a monthly P&L, the balance sheet. I don't know what I've got filtered there. Let me unfilter that. There we go. Balance sheet, and then a statement of reconciliation of funds or cash flow statement as well. So these reports are all available within down the left-hand side here that look very similar but have more functionality in terms of being able to drill in. But this is a PDF report that's outputtable, and you can drop your logo in. So you can create and put drop your logo in on the front or the top left, center at the top left, and you can also email that to people if you want to. That's included as standard. So jumping to budgets. I'll do another couple of minutes just running through a few more dashboards, and then we'll head into to the Q&A. As you can see and appreciate, there's a lot here. So here we're pulling in the actual budget and the variance for the period. In this instance, the budgets are loaded into Sage, but we can load them in directly into Roveel if that's helpful. Often budgets are held outside of Sage, so we developed the ability to import them in. And again, allows you to filter that by department, by cost center, and export that out as I've talked about. Indicated there was an initial piece of setup needed in terms of, because there's no chart of accounts. So the first task that's needed, or the only task that's needed to get any information running out of Roveel is to map your nominal codes, in particular the sales nominals, just to get started. So we've pre-built these headings down the left hand side, these sections. We can edit those if needed to, but we've tried to make them as wide ranging and sort of standard as possible. And then essentially the nominals would sit over here on the right hand side, so they would sit over there in an unclassified area. You would then say, those nominals need to be in other revenue. Select those, move them into there, and then scroll down and hit submit. I'm not going to do that because that will just lock my screen while that does that. But yeah, that's how you map your nominals, and then you've got on here the balance sheet as well. So you've got the various different headings on the balance sheet as well. So if I go back to P&L, and I'll go back onto here, and credit control gives an overview of what needs chasing, and breaks it down by individual customer, so you can actually get right back into number of days it's overdue, and then understand which invoices need chasing. So you can see those, and generally it will, obviously my data's slightly old, but it would show you what's owed and what's overdue. So we'll use the terms that are loaded inside Sage to determine that. Right, I'll now move back to my presentation, and happy to answer any questions. So just before that, benefits for you. Roveel provides a strong reporting tool for you and your team. So this is not just for finance, it's not just for sales, it's for the whole business, to really help understand and give them the information that's needed. So having run finance teams, you constantly asked for bits of information. Actually give them access to the information, they can self-serve and go and find that information. The crucial thing for us, as I've mentioned, was having a no hassle implementation. So no training needed. We do offer training courses if you want them, but you know it's simple, it's straightforward to use. We will do a 14-day free. We offer a 14-day free trial to everybody. There's a 5-minute setup, so it really doesn't take long to get up and running. We will also do a free demo. It's not written on there, but we'll also do a demo run through with your data. So we can do a demo of Stationery and Mart, which you've seen today, but actually it makes more sense with your data. So we will, if you want to, one of the team or myself will do a screen share and run through your data with you to try and get the most out of it. Support is provided by us. It's quick drill down reporting, and then obviously we've got those integrations with Cycon and Sim, which are underway. So if I hand back to Rico to answer any questions, or to ask any questions rather, that are in the chat. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, give everyone a minute just to put any last-minute questions through. But we've had one coming through from David. Is Roveel reporting restricted to single companies, or can it report across multiple companies?
Yeah, good question. It can report across multiple companies. So we've got an aggregation piece that needs to that we do. So we'd work with David to work out what information he would need to pull it all together. So we've got the ability. So it will pull in the multiple individual companies. So if you've got a group of three companies all on Sage 200, you might have a Sage 50 as well, or a 0 or something. We can aggregate across all of that.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And yeah, Mark, you know what it's like. As soon as you go off these type of calls, you remember the questions after that. So just a reminder to everybody, please feel free to reach out to me via email if any other questions come up after the session. And anyone who's watching the recording, please feel free to email over and we'll get the answers to you. So there's no more at the minute, Mark. So okay. I just want to thank you. Thank you for your time and expertise today. And thank you to everybody who joined the webinar today. We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Rico. Appreciate it.
Thanks all. Thank you.
Thank you.